so he might bust in, but we'll just
All
go
right.
with it.
All right, guys. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Recon Angling live stream food edition. And as you can see here, we're both getting our food on. He's got the little brownie there, well, Christmas brownie. I got my Recon Angling ugly sweater on. It's December, getting closer to the end of the year. Ice fishing has started in some places, and we're here live with Matt M, or as we call each other, the Fat Kids. We're good to have you back on the show, Matt. Talk about what we love best besides fishing, food.
Right. Like, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate. I'm happy to be on, and yeah, that's one thing we've been kind of talking about, coming on, doing a show together, and coming on, and what are we going to talk about? And we always joke around,
Yep.
about food, and it's like, well, let's just talk about all the food, because that's a big part of going fishing in general. Is the snacks. Either you're hitting a gas station on the way to the water, the night before you're packing a cooler, you're packing a bag or something like that. And then ice fishing is I'm sure we'll get into, is the greatest, what's the community camaraderie, we can get around each other, and it's one of the best times to cook on the ice. So, or to cook, shore lunch and all that good stuff in general. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun show. I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
What kind of donut is that? That looks like a butterscotch?
I don't know. It's I gotta look at, what is this? Dunford donuts. They're pretty good.
Nice.
What's going on, Colin? What's going on, David? Yeah, Colin said, what a bite. I feel like if you watched the Thanksgiving game, if you watched the Raiders, I think it was the tight end, take a big old bite of the turkey leg, and then he couldn't talk the rest of the
right.
That's what I feel like right now, eating that big old bite of that donut.
That's that brownie. See, I left my drink out there, and that brownie is real thick in my teeth.
Yeah.
I could feel it on the back, so I'm gonna have to be cautious if I have to take a bite of that brownie again.
I know. That's the problem, with eating all this good food. You got to have something good to wash it down with,
Right.
Early in the morning, a lot of people like coffee.
Yep.
Makes stuff like this go down pretty good. What's going on, Scott? But yeah, I was actually going to make some coffee, and then I got caught up doing some other stuff, and I kind of forgot about it. So I'll just got water in the cup right now. But yeah, tonight, wanted to talk a little bit about food on the ice, because most fishermen have a certain physique to them, and that comes from having when fishing's tough out there, you got to have you got to have the goods to keep you, hold you over. And usually, it seems that whenever fishing's slow, whenever you bust out that sandwich
Hmm.
or the good old Twinkie,
Yes.
the fish know that you're eating and they want to eat too. I don't know how many lake trout I've missed. Fishing slow, haven't seen anything. Open up my food and then bam, get a bite, miss it, and it's all because I couldn't resist the temptation anymore. I had to get that food.
Got to get that Twinkie in, man. And
So
you gotta sneak in those bites when you can. And like you mentioned, and to those Twinkies, man, like as I like Twinkies and Zingers. I was a big
yeah,
Zinger fan. And Ding Dongs too. Didn't you have some Ding Dongs there too?
yeah, I got all kinds of stuff. I got some. I've been pretty good at. I've been trying to lose weight, and I think this show is going to make me gain weight because I went and bought. I went and bought a bunch of stuff, which we were talking before the show started. You were like, "Man, I was going to get some stuff, but then I'd eat all of it." But I'm not
Right.
going to lie; I've been thinking about eating all this stuff all day. It's been sitting here tempting me.
Well, see, and well, so I look at it like, and I even tell my wife this because I've gone through some I've lost some weight, but I've gone back and forth because I'd rather be kind of like just fat, just plain fat instead of skinny fat. And I was
Yep.
skinny fat, and yeah, you could work out and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, but I just felt, I gained a little bit more weight, but I'm not, I love sweets, man. So I look at that stuff and I tell my wife when I'm heading out because she goes, don't eat. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll be good, you know. And then so I've been telling her lately that, hey, this is my like escape, you know. When I hit the ice or when I hit that gas station on the way to the water or whatever, I'm grabbing that Snickers bar. I'm grabbing that pack of Zingers, that pack of Twinkies, that bag of Funyuns. You know, I'm grabbing that root beer. That's the stuff that I normally don't do. This is when I
Yep.
like to pile it on. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You're talking about that, like Snickers and stuff. I think Snickers has like a Snickers brownie or something. And I remember last
Yeah.
year ice season, you go to the gas station, 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't make the best health decisions as far as eating comes. You get there, you go, you fill that coffee up. If you guys are coffee drinkers, you get that Monster Energy, whatever energy drink you want. You load up on that, and then there's all these little temptations.
Oh, those
You
look
got
good.
the little honey bun.
Those honey buns are
Yeah,
so. Oh man.
David said we need the insulation for cold weather. I will say, some of the years where I've been my thinnest have been the coldest on the
Right.
ice. So that is a thing.
It
You
is a
gotta,
thing.
this stuff here, especially these Nutter
Those nutty
Butters.
buddies.
Oh man, these
Yeah,
things,
buddy.
yeah, Nutty
Yeah,
Buddies
buddy, nutty buddy. Yeah.
are good. But we've had a lot of good comments and interaction on the Facebook page. For guys, what they bring out, what they like, to eat. A lot of jerky, that's a big thing. So there's a lot of different jerky brands that are out there, and some of us, that hunt make
Yeah.
our own jerky as well, and smoked salmon. I actually got some in the freezer there behind me. I got some smoked salmon and some smoked deer, or not smoked deer, but deer jerky, not from the deer that I shot, because I actually decided to hunt this year for the first time in forever, and all I got to eat was my tag. So
That's tag soup's always good. I've had that for like 3 or 4 years in a row. I've had tag soup, but I always get those tags with the hopes that I can get out and go kill something. And I maybe like this year I hunted 3 days. I almost got a fourth in, but I hunted 3 days. So I'm in the same boat, man. I have really good recipes for tag soup. Really
right.
good recipes.
I know we could do a whole show probably just on that. What's going on, Chris? David says summer sausage, from
Yeah,
this year,
yeah,
some cheese and crackers. That's a staple growing up in Wisconsin.
yeah.
Sausage, and that kind of will, kick us into what are some favorite favorite foods to cook on the ice. And being from Wisconsin, some of you guys out there, already know my answer would be the good old Johnsonville brat.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong with, brats or burgers out on the ice.
Peppers and onions too. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Peppers got to
Yeah.
flare it up a little bit.
Yep. Yep. Peppers, onions. And I like to, man, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. And if I'm going out there and I'm going to set up camp, and I'm going to fish an area, maybe not move a whole lot, then I'm going to bring a little bit something that I can sit there and cook with that's going to fill me up a little bit more.
Yep.
Like a can of soup, those what are they? The cup of noodles. Always cup of noodles.
Ramen. Yeah, ramen's good.
Ramen's the best in those situations, but just something like that is what I'll bring if I know I'm going to set up, if I'm going to, be in an area. Brats, like you mentioned, brats, or even like I got some turkey chili and turkey soup we just froze. I'm sure some of that stuff's going to be taken out on the ice, and I might throw that in a pot and start eating some chili too. And then also, shore lunch, that's always a great option as well. You just, clean your fish right out there on the ice and stuff like that, and cook them and make them there. So, but yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the freaking brats. Like the brats, are those, is that like the official food that you cook on the ice? Brats and burgers maybe, but just brats.
I would think that, brats, hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah.
It has to be as close to as official cooking on the ice as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that has to be. I mean, you look at people cooking on the ice. It's simple to transport.
Yep.
It's easy to cook on the ice. I mean, with those Mr. Buddy heaters, there's so many different modifications, and then they have the new one that's out this year or last year that came out. That's the heater, and then the stovetop. So I mean, it's easy to bring stuff out and cook. And Scott was talking about elk tacos on the ice, but
oh, nice.
That sounds good. But I think we need to do like do a trip to Cascade and do perch tacos on the ice would be I think would be pretty good if you could pull that off.
Dude, those things, those perch out there are unbelievable. They're just unbelievable out there.
Yeah, they're pretty big, and there's a couple other lakes in Idaho too that are in the next couple of years it's going to be right there, if not better than Cascade. Cascade seems to be more on the down cycle from what I've heard. There's still a lot of big fish, but there's not those super jumbos that have been out there. And there's a lot of different reasons. People kind of get into it, more fishing pressure out there, stuff like that. But when you look at these fisheries, a lot of them go in 10-year cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Wisconsin, when I did out in the Bay, fishing was pretty slow growing up, and then I moved away, and now you see that fishery has really rebounded. And I remember as a kid, there was a lot of years where there was reduced limits on perch and stuff like that. And you can see all that stuff in obviously you had the zebra mussels and the gobies and stuff like that came in that kind of helped bolster that fishery back to where it's at today, where the quality of fishing in the Great Lakes has been amazing the last 10 years. But it is what it is. A lot of guys that are watching the show that ice fish know, just going out in the outdoors, there's 2 to 3 times as many people as there normally is now. And I think that's a trend that we're going to see that's only going to get worse as far as the amount of people that are out there. So
it's been, I mean, you would usually, and I found that out this hunting season. I went and scouted an area, and I'll be real quick on the hunting thing, but
yeah.
And it was like this area, I've known it fairly well. There were so many. Yeah, David, that's a COVID angler. The COVID angler and the COVID hunters are out there. And I've known this area for so long, and I went out there and scouted it. I had a pattern. I had a couple animals I was looking at. I was looking. I was excited, and I spent more days scouting than I did hunting, because when I went to hunt, all I found were people. When I was scouting, I didn't see anybody, and I went on the weekends. I went during the week, and there was hardly anybody up there during scouting. So I'm thinking I'm okay. I'm like, there's no problem. And I go up there. I didn't go opening day, but I went the second day, and there was just people all over the place. And I even thought to myself, like, there's no shot. No shot. What I found earlier is going to be still way up there with all these freaking people. And I was done. I wrapped it up, and I said, I can't do this. So yeah, there's just so many people out there anymore. And you almost have to look at, like, you can't say that you're going to go further out or go farther away, because those there's people that find those areas now. There's so many ways, options to find those areas now too, that there's more people out there. So you're almost like having to stay closer to home, thinking, because all those people are going to go out there thinking that all those people that, to trying to double cross yourself, and you just get stuck with being around a bunch of people anyway. So
yeah, and even out here in Wyoming, that was, apparent. I mean, this was my like I said earlier, my first year in forever hunting out here, and I went with some buddies that grew up in the area and stuff, and there's people going up with fifth wheels and campers, like literally setting up camp right in the middle of where the elk are usually migrating and walking through. I mean, I talked to several guys that were up there the week before opener, and people they would see elk walk down this trail not too far from their camp, and literally the night before, some guys pulled up and just set up camp right there. And I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with fishing and ice fishing. It's having fished Antero and 11 Mile and all those other lakes. It's crazy to see pictures on some of the forums now, how many people are out there. What's going on, Sean?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, like you mentioned Antero and places like that. And right now, man, it's like that scene in what movie was that? I just forgot the movie. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember the freaking movie now. It's gonna suck because I can't remember the movie, and I can't. But some people know what I'm talking about. Some people know what I'm talking about. But it's like that where you show up, and then you turn around and you're like, well, I guess I'm here, and I might as well go and do what everybody else is gonna do, and just go out there and hope I can catch some fish amongst the sea of anglers that are out there.
Oh, it's not Grumpy Old Men, is it?
It could be. It could have been Grumpy Old Man, but no. This one wasn't Grumpy Old Man. This one wasn't Grumpy. I can't remember. It'll come to me, and I'll shoot you a message. You'll be like, crap.
Yeah. Why couldn't we have thought of that during the live show?
Right. But yeah, that all those, and it's at the same time, it's nice to see the sport and our lifestyle, right? The things that we like to do. It's nice to see that growing, because if it growth means there's more things, more opportunities for us. I mean, here in Colorado, we got one new state park, and I think another one coming up, and there's a couple more too that are going to provide anglers and hunters opportunities there too. So with the growth in people, that helps us too. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it really is. But for guys like you and me and the people in the chat here, it does that we have our spots that aren't our spots anymore because they're getting blown up.
Yeah, that's what Randy said. He said fishing and hunting is different now. It's painful to see, and it's good to see more people out enjoying the outdoors, but at the same time, you really see what that brings. Is you have a lot more people that just don't respect what they have, and you just see that with trash flying around and stuff like that. And so looks like the guys at SmackDown Outdoors said Matt can't remember something weird.
See, they know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pops into your head and you forget it, and then it's on the tip of your tongue. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we'll figure it out once we're done.
For sure. And like there's what I've noticed too, and this year I'm something that I'm going to take advantage of. And I know you got snowmobiles, you got sleds.
Yep.
I don't have any here because I've never really needed one, right? but I've been fishing areas a lot more where you can use those,
Yep.
where you can have one. So I'm basically going to rent my dad's 4-wheeler, rent.
Yeah.
He told me I just got to bring him lake trout and we'll
There you
smoke them.
go.
So boom, I was like, all right, we got it. He's got a trail. I got all set up. So I've been getting his thing all set up with a hitch and all that mumbo jumbo. So it's going to be a little bit longer drive. I'm going to go up north there and meet you. I've been saying it for like years. I'm going to finally friggin' do it. Finally going
Yep.
to go up north and meet you. But I'm going to explore those areas a lot more. I'm going to have to drive a lot further, but I'm going to explore those areas where I can get out on a 4-wheeler in this case, to where I can to still, I know there'll be some parts or time of the year where those aren't no bueno anymore, and you got to have a sled out there. But until I can, I'm going to utilize that a lot more, where I can get out and drive around more. So I think that this year, outside of the normal ones, we're going to hit South Park, we're going to hit North Park. We're
Yep.
gonna hit all those usual stuff. There's some spots where, I'm gonna go to a popular area, but I'm going to get on my ATV and I'm going to drive to spots. So I'm gonna try that out this year.
Yeah, even out here at the gorge, out in Wyoming and in Utah, and Scott kind of brought this up, that some of his spots, are out of the water with PAL being so low,
Wow.
and the fires that we had last year. A lot of people came to the gorge, mostly recreational boaters, and you saw a huge uptick in recreational boaters at the gorge last year, and just a lot of people from Colorado, doing the same
Yeah.
thing that you mentioned, trying to get away from the crowds, get away from the people. And with that being said, Randy mentioned it on here too. The fish are still where they're at, but you got to be a
Right.
magician to get them to bite. And we've seen that a few times this year. I had a really good year guiding on the boat this year, which the boat's in the shop right now, which is not good. So
Right.
I've been waiting 2 days to hear back how much I'm going to cry, to fix that thing and get back out in the water. So it's been kind of weird for me, a weird fall. I've been without my boat for about the last month or so. I thought I had it fixed, did some stuff to it, talked to the guys down at Crawley Marine in Denver, helped me out. Thought we had a fix, was able to do it myself, still having the same issue. And anytime you get water in your oil, it's not
Yeah.
a good thing. So I shut that down before it goes boom. So I'm hoping it's just a head gasket. But yeah, if it's a head gasket, it shouldn't be too bad. But it's always something. I think I got like 800 hours on that motor now, so it's getting up there.
And like, I mean, the little toe dip, or the couple years that I did it, I remember when I was guiding, and it just the wear and tear on your boat. See, for me,
Yep.
for me, it was my trailer. That first like 2-3 years, 2.5 years, whatever it was, my trailer whooped my butt on cost and stuff. That the boat was just maintenance,
Yep.
no big deal, stuff like that. But the thing that whooped my ass was the trailer. I mean, it felt like I was replacing a light. I remember
Oh
I
yeah,
was
lights are like once a month. One of them, you fix one, and another one will go out.
right, yeah. And I mean, it was, and I even got I had my good buddy, and he moved. He was he would help me a lot with the trailer. He showed me how to do a lot of stuff, right? He even gave me a little cheat sheet on the wiring and everything. And of course, I put it in my wallet. And what happens when you put your wallet on your butt cheek, it sweats. So I
Yeah,
go to pull that out to my cheat sheet, and it's like smeared through. So I screwed that up. And I'm not a real handy guy to begin with.
that's from eating too many of this, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is 100%. You get that sweat coming right down, 100%. And then the freaking damn the trailer, just that's what I remember. It's just the maintenance, and then the wear and tear on something. You're always fixing something, always fixing something. So it was
No, and that's what I had my truck went down, and some weird battery pack that
wow.
Ram couldn't get in. It's one of those things. It's a simple fix, but we can't get the part. Then I had two rollers come off of my trailer, because I got a roller trailer, which
Yeah.
I was talking up to everybody. I mean, I like it with, you have the man, now I can't even think of the mechanism in the front that locks my boat to the
The
trailer.
Dorado.
Yeah, my Drado. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it with the roller, because I'll hit that and it rolls right off. But man, somehow on the back on my two bunk rollers, which are the two sets, the most important rollers that are on that trailer,
Mhm.
decided they wanted to come off and about punched a hole in the bottom of my boat.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, and I figured, they're just rollers. They shouldn't be too bad. That was
Right.
$500 for that, because you can't
Oh,
just buy the individual sets of rollers. You got to buy the whole bracket. And
damn.
so, yeah, I had to do that. So that hit at the same time that
Ugh.
my motor started um doing stuff. Well, it wasn't a muley, Colin. That was, yeah. And so, like, last year, Colin and I, we went on a little road trip
Mhm.
from Wyoming. We went to North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and then back down. And
That's a
so,
trip.
yeah, it was, we put, I think, like 4,000 miles on that boat and trailer. So we had to get tires. That was, the tires. I
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. So, and I got a tandem, so it was
Yeah.
four.
No,
And
that's
then,
yeah, that's even worse.
so I'm not even joking. And this is what, Colin's talking about, running this buck running into the trailer. We're sitting there, and we're going, and I'm always paranoid. 2 years ago, I lost a hub in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming on my boat trailer, and so I had to take all the stuff out of my boat, put it in my truck, which I don't even know how. There was no room for anything. But um ever since then, anytime I stop for anything, I'm always checking my tires.
Mhm.
I'm checking, I'm checking my bearings, making sure they're not hot, stuff like that.
Yep.
And I was looking, I'm like, holy cow, these tires look warm. And as we started going, driving out to South Dakota, I noticed these tires were wearing pretty good. And I was like, man, so I called this place up. There was one place that had tires. They got us in and got those tires switched out. But that was another, $500 bill. And
Mhm.
then we're driving back. And in my truck, the lights are so bright, you can see your whole life ahead of you with this
Yeah.
thing with the brights on. So we're driving, and you can see this deer way out, and it was a nice whitetail buck out in the middle of nowhere, and you could see him just hauling across the field right towards the road. So I'm like, okay, I'll slow down. So I
Yeah.
slow down, almost come to a stop, and he just stops in the field, and it's like looking at the truck. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm good to go. I start speeding up, and this idiot runs right into the side of my truck. I'm like, Colin and I were sitting there like, you got to be kidding me. And we just hear his antlers like all the way down the side of my truck in the boat trailer. And so we're just like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black. We're like, oh man, like this thing probably jacked up the whole side of my truck. We get out, there's really nothing on my truck, but somehow this thing hit that little clearance light that's on the fender of my trailer and cracked that thing out. So every time we stopped, we had to get out and pop that light back in. And it's hard
Jeez.
to find the actual light that fits that little clearance light on the fender too.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I've ran into with my trailer. I had to just replace the whole entire freaking light system in the back there because I couldn't find that one little light or that one little bulb or that one little. I had a fuse issue too for a little bit that I was dealing with. I had the stupidest thing happen. I couldn't put on my nav lights. They kept blowing a fuse because a little screw came untied or came undone from something on the boat. I think one of my rod holders fell in there and it kept getting a short out. So every time I would go to put my nav lights on or turn them on, it would short out down in there. And I couldn't figure that out for the longest time. So I blew through I don't know how many fuses. So I just freaking man, I don't know how you guys make any freaking money, man. With just all the wear and tear and the maintenance, and like you said, I would cut like well, it's like again, it's like a good thing and a bad thing, because you go through all these things, but then it helps you going further, because you always check everything now. You check it's like we should have been doing it before, but we don't, because we got to get in and go, and we got to get up early, we got to go, we got to get home, go to bed, eat, all this stuff. We just got to keep going, and you don't check. But now you stop and check. I remember I would cut a tire every time going down that road to Spinney.
Yeah.
I would cut a tire. I swear to God, either on my truck or on my, and you say you buy cheap tires. Well, I spent a lot of good money on my truck tires. Now the boat tires are a little bit different, but I bought tires at Walmart and made them work. I've bought tires, all kinds of weird, odd situations, because I've cut so many tires on that gosh darn trailer.
Well, you know, one thing I do now is it doesn't matter what tire I buy; it's at least a 10-ply. For my truck, it costs a little bit more money for my boat. You know, I use Carlisle 10-ply for my trailer tires, and on my old boat, I had those tires on there for probably like 4 years, and I put a lot of miles on that thing, and they wore really good. And you know, just the same thing out here. A lot of these roads, or out here in Wyoming, are just like the road going out to Spinney. You know, it's all gravel, and they've, you know, I better knock on some wood here, because we're sitting here talking about it. You know, I guess I don't have to worry about it, because the boat and the trailer is at the shop, but I know, you know, I'll probably driving that sucker home and something dumb will happen. Right. But going back into it, you know, I bring the boat in there, and you know, this guy's like, "Oh man, that's a nice boat." You know, and we look at the inside and stuff. Like, man, you guys are hard on these boats. And I mean, we are to an extent, but I also think, you know, and there's some companies that have really stepped up as far as the quality of product that you get, because there's a difference on wear and tear between somebody who uses their boats on the weekends and somebody who uses it day in and day out. I mean, you see that with work trucks and anything like that. So it's hard to stay on top of that stuff, like you mentioned, because, you know, I get a lot of guys that you'll be like, "Oh, you know, you have such a great job. It's, you know, man, I'd love to have your job," and stuff like that. And honestly, the easiest part of the day for me is when I'm actually out on the water.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a good time with clients. I'm out fishing, having a good time. But then when I get back, it's okay. What broke on the boat that I need to fix? Which one of these broke? You know, do I got to go spool something up? Do I gotta go set more stuff up for lake trout? You know, tie baits up. You know, different stuff like that. And you know, there's a lot of nights this year where, you know, I was going to bed at 11 o'clock midnight and then waking up 4:30 in the morning and just starting the whole process up. You know, it was very good learning experience with all that stuff, you know, and it helps because, you know, we kind of have an inside look at, this is what you guys are going to have to, this is what you're going to expect to do on your boat. So we learned the hard way so we can share with you guys out there watching, you know, what to do. One thing I never even really knew, and, you know, we're getting off topic, but this is what I like about doing the shows like this, is you never know what you're going to end up talking about. Right. You know, we had a plan talking about food and, you know, we talked about food for a bit, what's got us talking into guiding and just boat care. But, you know, for those of you guys out there watching that have a boat, especially a Mercury, you know, make sure you change that thermostat out. Holy cow. I took the thermostat out of my boat and I don't know what was going on in that thing. I think a hermit crab might have been living in there. I'm not sure. But you know that, and I'm pretty proficient when it comes to that type of stuff. I do all my own oil changes, lower gear, switching all that stuff out, spark plugs. I do all that stuff myself because it gets back into, you know, it gets back into that bottom dollar. You know, if I can do something like that and learn how to do that, it saves me a little bit of money and time bringing it to a shop. But I had no idea that you're supposed to change. They recommend to change that thermostat out every 100 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, and like you said something very important. Your proficiency, what that bottom dollar, and like in my case, I look at it as you either be proficient at it or you have somebody or some people that are really good at doing that.
Yep.
Because I've been lucky in my past that I've had either a guy that can do trailer stuff like my buddy Rich, or I got a guy, or we got the guys at Crowley that take
Yep.
care of us. You know, Keith and those guys over there are great
Yep.
over
Keith and
there.
Ron.
They've always taken care of me. I mean, anytime I talk to those guys, ask them a question or anything, they've always taken care of me. They got me a fender for my trailer when I had a blowout and it destroyed my entire fender. They hooked me up with that. So yeah, I just it's you either you know a guy, or you can do it yourself, or you
Yep.
know people, or you get to know a people, you know, a company.
Yep.
That's why you guides. I mean, you're good at establishing those relationships with companies. So, you know, if you have to get your truck in, you have to get your boat in, you know, they'll help hook you up because they know that you're going to bring a business at the same time.
Yep.
You know, they're helping out. So yeah, it's good to be on both ends of that spectrum for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about networking. You know, it looks like Cody had a run in with a buck elk hunting this year. He said he had $10,000, a $10,000 buck. So I'm assuming.
Oh my gosh.
And then looks like Eric's on here. He said they're a jive ass turkey. So
yep, that's Eric. that's what he calls me, jive ass. I mean, Eric, a jive ass turkey is either what's up, dude, or it's like what's up, punk. One of the two.
Yeah.
With a jive ass turkey, when it could be one of the two with Eric, but it's that jive ass turkey is I want to get him a shirt that says jive ass turkey on it.
You got to do that with a picture with him and his beard and his glasses.
Yeah. That would be something like what was that? Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Where because he's got his. What was his saying? Was it? It wasn't damn, was it? Or big dummy.
Yeah.
Big dummy. You know, dummy. Big dummy. Big dummy. And that's what we should do for Eric. Get him a shirt for sure. Yeah, dude, that $10,000 buck. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage on the. He's laughing now. Let's see. David wants to know what Eric's favorite food is.
Red Fox. Yes, that's what it is. Oh, Colin said here, favorite food for both of us and least favorite food.
Ooh. Now, is this Colin? Is this ice fishing or just in general? Because you know, there's a difference.
Yeah, that could be. Because I mean,
I will say my favorite thing to do, especially after being out on the water on a hot day or just ice fishing, and this started when Jeremy and I used to fish all the time, is we get ourselves an ice cream sandwich. That at the end of the day, I mean, dude, sitting in a truck with the heat on, driving back on those long drives, you know, from Granby and stuff like that. Yeah. We'd always stop, and it was always the one. It was like the ice cream. It was like the cookie sandwich too.
Well, I remember one time coming back from Antero, we grabbed because I would get always the strawberry shortcakes.
Oh yeah,
or strawberry shortcake or a Choco Taco.
Oh yeah,
the wrong with the freaking Choco Taco, man. There's not a situation where you can go wrong with the Choco Taco for sure.
No,
for sure. So, in the hut, out of the hut. In the hut, something warm. I like. Well, you know what? I like to flip that. That's. I guess I would flip that. Well, see, because I like something warm in the hut too. So I like a cup of when I'm sitting out of the hut. I like to sit out there, especially when I'm watching, or I just got a dead stick. You know, North Park is great for this. Set up dead sticks and you just sit there. I like to get a cup of soup, something hot, and just sit out there with like a coffee mug and just sit there and drink that. That's what I like to do outside of the hut. That's what I like to do outside. In the hut, I mean, I can go either way in the hut. You know, I like chips and sunflower seeds. If you
sunflower seeds.
Now I'm going to ask you this too, because I'm a sunflower seed and a pumpkin seed guy. Are you a pumpkin seed guy too? Can you get down with pumpkin seeds?
You know, I can around October.
Do you have to be in the mood? It has to be.
It's almost like feeling. Pumpkin spice, right?
Right. Yeah. So okay.
I'm just a pumpkin seed white guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, I can do either or. If I see because sometimes, they'll have, because they do put those pumpkin seeds out, during autumn and fall, and when it's that time of year. But I found them out there, and so Big R has a good selection of pump. They got a big bag with those big thick pumpkin seeds, but sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds, some kind of seeds, I gotta be spitting seeds. So if you go out on the ice, you find a pile of seeds, there's a good chance it's probably me. It's probably me.
All right.
So there's nothing's been caught there. So you just keep on moving, because we don't catch fish over there.
No, and that kind of brings us in. I put up on here, what's your favorite sweet snack? Because that's kind
Yeah,
of where we were at. And these Nutty Buddies are.
those are good.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to go. It's for me. It's either that or Swedish Fish or
Swedish
Sour
fish
Patch
are good.
Kids. Yeah,
Yes, Swedish fish are good. I'm a Starburst guy. Skittles, old
Starburst is
OGs.
good.
OGs,
Skittles.
those are kind
If
of
I eat too
OGs.
many Skittles, it makes me sick. I think
Yeah,
it's too much sugar. I don't know.
well, you got to calm down, big guy. Can't eat
I,
too
I
much.
I can't help it. I
You got to
get
drink
too
some water.
excited. Well, Scott
I
likes
saw,
Baby Ruth.
yeah, I saw cherry sours on here. Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
cherry. Yep.
Those are good.
David had cherry sours on there. Cody put partially frozen slushy Gatorade. That's always
That's
like a
always good.
bonus find in your hut. I
It
feel
is.
like
Yes.
you
It's
put one in there, leave it overnight, you let it thaw out while you're fishing in the hut.
Yep. Yeah, hey, but just make sure you don't get the one that's next to the week old sucker that you had
Oh
that you
yeah,
left
that's
in there.
bad. Yeah, Colin did his. We got this thing we do. We do our S's like that. So he said the Skittles are plastic. He's gonna get a
That's
kick
funny.
out of that.
Chocolate covered frozen bananas, embarrassing. I wonder how Cody eats that banana.
Yeah, Cody, I think you'll have to post a picture of how you eat that banana. It might explain why you have some rough days in the water too.
Yeah, we got some questions answered.
Yeah.
We got some questions answered. I want a video of Cody eating a chocolate frozen banana.
Yeah.
Immediately. We got to see it. Good grief, Cody. Why do you put that out there on Facebook? That's on Facebook now.
Yeah, that's bad, man. I think maybe he's trying to promote his OnlyFans though. That could, that could be,
Oh, that's
might be doing a career change.
Man, that's
yeah, like Herbert the pervert. Yeah, on the old hey there. Well, let's see if I can do that. Hey there, Chris.
Oh, that's funny.
OnlyFins. Yeah, there we go. OnlyFins.
I like that's interesting. I might do a spoof on OnlyFans with that, huh?
Yeah, well, I did see there's a company that makes a shirt that says you can find me on OnlyFins or OnlyFish.
Oh, so
but I don't think
like
there's
everything else.
OnlyFins. I've seen OnlyFish, but I haven't seen OnlyFins. That could be. We might be onto something.
Well, still, like I'm still like trying to push out that T-shirt idea that I've had, where it has a picture of a fish, because the biggest fish of mostly every species is female, right? Yep. So I want to make a fish that says I heart fat girls, and it has the picture of the fish on it, right? So I want the fish is the girl. I'm not taking like saying I love actual fat girls, but and there's nothing wrong with
no,
there's nothing wrong with that. But the concept of the shirt is the fish is the fish is the fat girl. So essentially, because that's I'm still working with it. I've been turned down a couple times by a couple companies. So the idea is still it's out there. I'm still working on it though. We got to streamline it.
I got something. I don't know if I can say it or not, but it's for ice fishing. Big girl, little hole.
See, I like that one too. You got it though. You get it. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where you're going on there.
Right.
So it looks like Cody's trying to throw you under the bus. He said, "Talk about admitting our secrets." So,
dude, I'm serious. That he might be something, man. I don't mind. I'm not saying my wife's fat or chubby at all. She's actually very fit, and I outkick my coverage. I'm just gonna say that. But I do like a little meat on the bones. I ain't gonna lie.
What's going on, Chris?
Curvy. Yes, David, you're right. See, that's the whole thing. We got to be PC nowadays. So
yeah, well,
we get canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, Colin says the patent only fins. Hey, Colin, you should do that because for those of you guys, you've probably seen Colin Green all over the place out there. He's a fishing animal out on the East Coast, Pennsylvania. Sorry that you're a Steelers fan, by the way.
Oh no,
Rough year for you, but
they're
Tomlin's
down
still
this
your
year.
boy, so I think you guys will be good. But he owns Tank Fishing, so he makes his own apparel. So, Colin, we're looking for you to come out with the Tank Fishing Only Fins edition shirt.
There
So
you go, patting that
you
up.
got a mission, Colin.
And you
but
can have the I Heart Fat Girls too if you want, Colin. You can have that. Just send me a shirt and a hoodie. I don't care. You can have it. I just want the gear, just the shirt and a hoodie. I'm fine.
We're also doing a giveaway, which I almost forgot about.
Oh,
but
nice.
For those of you who commented, what you like on the post, I put you guys into I have the little spin a wheel thing, which we'll do here in a little bit. But yeah, it's Tank, not the other one. So Tank. Oh, now what did I do? Dang it. There we go. Now I got to he's making me multitask here.
David's always going to get you. He's always going to get you.
But we are doing a giveaway. So for those of you who actually went and commented, before the live show, I put all your names, and I'm doing just a $25 gift card to help your fat kid addictions. So this is for you to buy your favorite whatever, and so we were talking about, sweet snacks, brats, stuff like that, cooking on the ice. I think now we'll talk about, the gas stations, because that has just as much to do with it. I know out here, Maverick is huge in Wyoming, and their breakfast stuff they have I think it's phenomenal. I mean, you get the Moab, the mother of all burritos. Oh. That thing will feed you for a week. It's got everything, and it's amazing. And then they also have like their lumberjack bowls, which is really good. Yeah. Colin says it's not tank fishing, it's a different kind of fishing. That must be a Pittsburgh Steelers thing. We're not going to get into that. Matt and I are Packers fans, so we're a little more high class. Yeah.
See the cheese back there? See the cheese?
Hey, I got mine. It's up here. Right there.
Attaboy. Attaboy. We're ready. And I got the man up there in the corner. I got the man up there in the corner. See him? Number 4.
There he is.
Looking over my shoulder all the time. All the time.
I know you can't see it over here, but in front of me, I have got a picture of Clay Matthews sacking Brett Favre when he played for the Vikings. Classic. Nice. I got Aaron Rodgers doing discount double check on when they scored, I think, the first touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I got Bart Starr with Lombardi, and then I have a autographed BJ Raji with Sam Shields on his back from when he intercepted Jay Cutler for a touchdown in the NFC Championship game. So yeah, I mean, it's we put this thing off. It's been it's been nice. It's been nice. I'm not gonna lie, just kind of seeing football be football this year.
Football has been a lot really good. I mean, college football has been a lot better. The NFL has been a lot better. Yeah, it's great to have all that. Get back to somewhat of a normalcy of a football game anyway.
Yep.
Those Mavericks, we were talking about those Mavericks, they're just starting to pop up out here. So there
used to be one in Granby forever, and that's
yeah.
Or was it?
Yeah, that was
Come and Go, wasn't it?
Huh?
Was that Come and Go, or was there a Maverick out there?
I think I want to. I mean, there's a new Come and Go out there. There's a new Come and Go, like right when you come out of what road is it? It's not 40. Just coming out of Granby. What road is that? What highway is that?
I think it's 20 something, 24 or.
Coming in, right when you come to the split where you can either go.
You take a right. You go to. Well, yeah, you go straight. Go to Williams Fork, or you take a right.
40. Yeah,
where you come. 40. Yep, there we go.
There's a there's a come and go right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cody's
that
got it.
come
Yeah,
and
there's a
goes
come and
been
go
there.
right
That
there.
used to be where we used to always stop, especially on the way back, because Jeremy, I think, and I used to go up there on Wednesdays, and it was like buy one get one pizza slice.
Yeah, pizza. I was just gonna say
Yeah,
pizza because I would do guide trips at Williams Fork, and then I would stay in Granby, and I would grab a pizza. I would stop right
yep.
there and snag a whole pizza and go home and eat it there. And in the morning, now I don't know if you just called out that Mohab burrito. I have stopped gas station burritos. I am done. I don't care if it says Santiago's or if it says any other
No,
Mexican
see, I
food
forgot
name.
about Santiago's burritos. Those are pretty
Yeah,
legit in
they're
Colorado.
they are legit out here, but not at the gas station. Unless you
Yep.
saw the Santiago truck, just drop it off and leave. They're it's not the same. It's not the same. And I have sworn off of gas station burritos and also the Deli Express sandwiches. No more.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm no go on those things. I'm not touching those things anymore. I've had way too many issues and had to drill way too many extra
It
holes.
only gets worse the older you get too.
Yeah.
I had a client this year. He came out with me I think 7 or 8 times, and out at Buckboard they make burritos for clients out here. Everything's homemade, and I'm like, hey, do you want a burrito? He's like, no. He's like, I won't be able to stay on the boat if I and I felt bad because I always forgot every time he came. I would just ask. I'm just out of habit. And he'd be like, no, can we quit trying to give me like you don't want me to come on the boat? It's funny. Yeah, gut bombs. Yeah.
Yep. They do. They do, David.
Yeah,
They
and
do.
actually that's how Matt caught his biggest brown too.
That
It was right,
my
right
biggest
after
brown
he
ever.
had a gut bomb.
Yeah, I had to have Eric help me. I had to have Eric help me. It was so big. Had to have help. Yeah, I just can't. I can't do those burritos, man. They just and anymore. Like you said, getting older, and I'm not that old, but the older I get, I have to like slow down on coffee. I used to get one of those giant coffees, Philip
You
coffee.
get the shakes?
Yeah, I get.
Oh
No,
yeah, I do
I have to
too.
pee. I gotta pee.
Yeah, every 5 minutes.
Dude, it's every 5, and it's the drive to there because I remember it sucks because I would stop at even if I didn't have to get gas, I would stop at a gas station even if I had a full freaking mug of coffee that I just left from the house. I'm still stopping and I'm getting a gas station cup of coffee. 7-Elevens for a while were the best. Come and Goes really stepped up their game around here.
Yeah, 7-Eleven I feel like has kind of dropped.
Yeah,
7-Eleven used to be the place.
it did.
And in growing up in Wisconsin, I don't know if there's. I think like the best gas stations in the United States are either Quick Trip or Buc-ee's. Now, Buc-ee's is more like a Walmart with 800 gas pumps. For those of you
that big thing in Texas or Oklahoma or Arkansas or whatever?
Down in Texas, yeah, I'm not even joking. Each Buc-ee's probably has like 50 or 60 gas pumps, and that's just for regular cars and trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got anything you could think of in there. And Quick Trip has got the same thing in the Midwest. It might as well just be a mini grocery store. You can get pretty much anything at Quick Trip. Now, Casey's is really good too. Their pizza is really good. But yeah, I think each area has got their own thing. And I've seen somebody mention the Hartzell General Store.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
And the Jefferson store too. The Jefferson store. So I don't know how bad the Jefferson store that store goes back way back for me. And then also Stage Stop. And that, I don't know if they still do food there anymore, but Stage Stop, when I would leave from Terriol, I would go into Stage Stop and get the owners that owned it way back when. They were from Philly. They were Philadelphia Eagles fans. Best food that you can have.
Oh, wow.
It was tremendous food, but they would make these homemade pizzas, like dope, really good pizzas. I would snag a pizza. We would get a pizza and eat it on the way home. And the Jefferson store, and we were out there. I think last year we snagged a burrito and ate there. It's still good food. And I would get a Philly cheesesteak. I would come home from Antero. I would get a Philly cheesesteak from that store and an iced tea, and I would head home. So Jefferson's another good one. And I see Johnson's Corner cinnamon rolls. Yep. Oh, and also Stubbs, I-76 heading out that way. That Stubbs, I can't believe I haven't said Stubbs yet. That's in my opinion, on that side, the best that you can find. The chimichangas are tremendous.
Oh
The
boy.
burritos, they even got gizzards out there. If you want to get crazy, for the gizzards, a little sweet and sour sauce. Oh my gosh, just all the fried food you can think of out there. I love Stubbs. Stubbs is a good spot to stop to it out. Good people too. Good people.
Let's see.
Johnson cinnamon rolls. Yeah.
Maverick's got really good cinnamon rolls too, believe it or not.
Do they are they how I haven't
They have
been
like
there.
that cream cheese that it's like that
It's not like frosting.
they're not cream cheese. It's frosting, but it's oh man, I can't think of the cheese. It's almost like that cheesecake frosting.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's good stuff.
Mario's Pizza in Gunnison. What's I haven't had. Oh yeah, I think I have it at Mario's once. What's that pizza place in Idaho Falls?
Oh, not Tommy Knocker. Bojo's?
Oh yeah, Bojo's Pizza. Now that
one you thinking of?
yeah, if you had time to stop and get that place
Is
is
it
usually
Bojo's?
pretty crazy, but yeah,
Yeah, it does get pretty
Bojo's.
busy.
But it's really good pizza. I mean, you
And
better
there's
not plan on doing anything after that.
right. And there's a spot in I can't remember the name of it, so this is gonna suck. But if you do know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's so Williams Fork, it's like at the turn. So it comes up if you're coming from Hot Sulphur Springs, there's a burger joint right there. It's like an old school diner. It looks like that, even has the signage, I think. It's one of the best burgers that you've ever had. And it's like a traditional diner. I mean, it's got diner stuff in there, like old school 50s diner stuff in there. And then what's that restaurant that everybody talks about in Granby all the time? It's kind of like, huh?
For breakfast in Grand Lake, Fat Cat Cafe.
Fat Cat's tremendous.
Oh, that place is
Fat Cat's tremendous.
I can't remember the lady's name in there. I've met her a few times. I think she's from like England or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good joint to go to. There's just a lot of, and that's one of the things that I like to do. And if I had $1 million, or if I had I don't care money, right?
Yeah,
that's what I would do. I think I would go around, try to find places where I can go fishing, and then see what the best little spot to eat at. And it's like, yeah, this idea has been done probably 1,000 times already on YouTube.
I don't think it has.
Know.
I think that would be an interesting series to do, the travel around, fish, and then try to figure out a great place to eat and incorporate. See, we might have given out our secret
again. If send me a sweatshirt, send me a hoodie if you have the idea. That's all I want. But yeah, no, I see. Well, I said it because I'm like thinking, it's got to be somebody's got to have done it. Somebody's got to have done it already. Fishing and eating destinations, something like that. That's what I would want to do that because there's so
fat kids fishing.
Fat kids.
There it is, fishing right there. Fat kids fishing, man.
See, if we could go and like judge the food. Like bring out the hamburger, they bring out whatever their most popular thing is, and we can judge it and stuff like. Nah, I don't. Like what's the Dave Portnoy guy when he does the pizza?
Barstool.
Yeah, Barstool.
Yeah, just do that and go around and judge. I can't believe I took a bite of that nasty ass hamburger after a long day of fishing. This is what I got to eat.
Thanks, Mom, Pop.
Yeah, throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh. That reminds me of Step Brothers. You'll just be like, "This is horse shit."
that's what I'm saying. It's like those are one of the things I like to do because I even get excited if I'm going to a certain place that I know my favorite little restaurant, or I know they got good burgers there. Even like this might sound crazy, but like that McDonald's right there in Winter Park, when you come down 40. You come down off the mountain off of Berthoud Pass, you come down and you come right in. That McDonald's is kind of tucked in there.
Mm-hmm.
That McDonald's has the best McGriddles that any other McDonald's. And I swear to goodness, it does. I don't know what it is. It just does have as a best McGriddle. So you damn well know I'm going in there and I'm getting a freaking sausage McGriddle. All right. Two potato cakes, hash browns, and maybe probably an extra sausage sandwich.
I think that used to be probably my go-to for, like, if you're talking fast food breakfast.
It's the best breakfast sandwich that's out there. If we're talking about fast food,
Yeah,
okay.
Wendy's has stepped up their game.
Yeah, they have.
As far as the potatoes go, the wedges, I don't think you can beat. I don't think you can beat the Wendy's potato wedges. But yeah, there's something about that sausage and egg McGriddle. It's just fast
different.
food.
It hits different.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Coney Island. Cody's mentioned Cody Island. That used to be tremendous when it was closer to town. But where it is now, I can't say it's not the same, but because I don't really remember, but the now I don't remember because it's been so long since I've ate it, and it's been so long since I've had the previous stuff, so I can't really compare it. But I used to remember that was a spot where we would always stop at, but it was always the one that was further that was always packed.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Travis gave a shout out to my ugly sweater. Yeah. So if you guys are actually want to get a Recon Angling ugly sweater, I think they're still up on. I don't make any money, but let me go look and see if they're still up. If you go to Sublime Wear USA, they're the ones that make these ugly sweaters. I don't know what's going on. I got too many things open. I think
got a lot of windows. You better close them dirty windows up.
I know I got to close them all. But we're up here on an hour, so I think we're gonna do the giveaway real quick.
Dude, David, they're coming, man. I'm working on a website right now, and as soon as that website is, I shouldn't say working on it because I got it going. I just have to have everything. It's a little bit, it's not difficult, but it's just taking some time. As soon as I get that going, David, man, they're coming. The special ed shirts. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure
that one's not gonna. That's gonna be a vintage item very quick. It's gonna be a one and go. So
one and
David,
done.
Yeah, one and done. You'll get like the first run of those shirts, Dave, and that'll be it. They'll be like collector's items because there'll be one of 4 probably.
Oh, here we go. It's the wheel of everything. So let's see who wins this $25 gift card here.
To get fatter.
Exactly. Ooh. Jeremiah Avery.
Yay.
So Jeremiah, shoot Recon Angling a message if you see this, and we'll get that $25 gift card over to you. We got to pop back here. Let's see. Perfect. That was pretty simple. But yeah, so if you go over to Sublime Wear USA, look under partners, Recon Angling. They might be there. If they're not, just let me know. Shoot me a private message, and I'll get an order together or something. I think when I made these a couple years ago, there's this red and then there was a green one. But yeah, what a fun show. I mean, we were all over the place, talking about food, boat troubles, trailers, too many people in the outdoors.
That's how we roll, man. That's good stuff. I hope everybody had a good time. Yeah, we could keep going with the food too, man. There's so many things.
There really is. Look, David said his wife said that he's qualified to wear a special ed shirt and not offend anybody.
and one of the things too with talking about guides, eating, and I did this when I drove, and this is probably bad too. I mean, but we all did it because we had crap to do and we didn't have time to pull over and eat lunch. So you're eating while you're driving. Like, how good could you eat? Like, this is what I always, this is gonna sound crazy. I wonder if Cody's still on here. I'm gonna tell more secrets. I always been because I could eat a burrito while I'm driving, no problem.
Yeah.
I could eat a taco while I'm driving, no problem. Like a friggin' sub sandwich, no problem. But a hamburger, even if I keep it in the wrapper,
Oh, dude,
right?
it's bad.
It's a mess.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've been driving trying to eat. I think the worst one is probably if you get a double Whopper.
If you get the big one, right?
That thing, dude, trying to drive, like, oh my God.
Right.
I don't think you can't even grab onto the steering wheel of your truck.
No.
It just turns into a giant grease wheel.
And then your hands smell like that flame broil or that beef.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is I get the, like you said, when you get the big ones, I don't get the big. I can't do a Whopper anymore. I can't do quarter pounder drive. I have to get like the cheeseburger meal or a chicken sandwich, like the small spicy chicken sandwiches. I have to do something small, like their junior bacon cheeseburger. If I go to Wendy's or something, I got to get something small.
Yep.
And it's
well, it's because we're adult children when we eat like that.
Exactly.
Pretty much. That's what it boils down to, man.
It does, but that's the stuff you have to do. Now you could, and I've done it, and I've tried to stay with it. And there's times where I will not plan on stopping at all. I'll just pack up a giant cooler, my little bag of food, and usually when I got the kids. But even when I take the boys out now, we go out the night before, and that's one of the things that's too with kids. I'm sure everybody that's people in the comments still, if they're still out there, that with kids, I like to go. We pick snacks for fishing. I'm sure you might have did this too when you were younger. You get excited to go out there and to go pick snacks for fish. What snacks am I get tomorrow? Funyuns were my top of my list. I always did Funyuns and power bait. If you've never had Funyuns and power bait on your fingers, you haven't lived. You have not truly lived yet.
I haven't lived then.
You got to do it this year. The first time you go
just do it.
The first time you go set up your what are those things called? Not the automatic fisherman. What's the jaw jackers with the big gob of power bait. Make sure you have. So I would suggest to do it.
I can't remember the last time. Actually, you know what? The last time I used power bait was and I don't know if Bobby Chavin is watching, but that's the last time I ever used power bait. I was so desperate one time at 11 Mile. This was like in 2009, 2010. It was bad, man. I threw out everything, couldn't get these fish to bite. And then we're out this at the time we were on his boat, and I got so desperate. I'm like, dude, where's the power bait? And I threw power bait, and I caught a fish, so it worked, but dude, that's the last time it's been a while. So
see, power bait's still a big.
I don't know if I could physically. I don't know if I'd be able to physically pick it up.
Power bait's a big part of my arsenal still, man. I got the kiddos. They love to roll those little power baits up. Yep. I mean, and the smell, they love it. And David said garlic power.
Yeah, there you go. Even better.
It's power bait's just, and as a kid, I remember power bait salmon eggs, eggs and bacon, the worm, salmon eggs, power bait, whatever it was, that's what we were doing. So I still, every time I eat Funyuns, I don't know what it is. I eat it and I smell power bait. Yep. I smell power bait.
One thing that it's not food related at all, but whenever I handle a gun or I always think of that CLP smell from being in the Army. We used to just like bathe 50 cals, Mark 19s and stuff like that in that CLP. And I don't know what but that smell will instantly give me a migraines every time I get a gun, like it's new, or you get that cleaning stuff out.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Your brain just it associates what you're doing with that smell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy how that works. It is crazy.
Yeah, Colin said it's under your fingernails for 2 weeks. It's probably the CLP and the power bait.
Right. Both.
Finger looking good.
That's true. Or anytime we go, when it rains, we go, try to catch night crawlers in the dirt and we're reaching and stuff like that. If you didn't cut your nails that day, man, you had dirt just jammed in there. So yeah, I mean, bait fishing. We should do a bait next time. We'll do a bait fish. Oh no, you don't fish with bait, do you? Are you a bait fisherman?
I do sometimes. Yeah. I mean, there's some places in Idaho through the ice. it's really cool watching, 16 to 20-inch cutthroats and brook trout eat like an 8-inch freaking minnow, like
Nice.
just sitting on the bottom. I'll be jigging on the right side, and then I'll put a hole. My buddy like salts and brines these minnows. You put a whole one on, dude. I'm not even joking. It's 8 inches long. You just put it on a single hook, let it go down to the bottom. You'll be sitting there jigging. You look over. Hey, where'd that minnow go? It's at the hook,
Yeah.
and it's nuts. Like just fishing in like 2-3 feet of water too, under the ice, sight fishing these fish. Last year I did it. I just tied a line around the fish and just watch these fish come in, and that kind of brings it. That's a good technique for you guys who are looking at hook placement.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hit right there to maybe try that out to see why hook placement is important, especially when you're fishing for pike and lake trout.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys get these big tubes. You'll see, these big long tubes like this, and your instinct is, I need to put a hook out in the back. I can guarantee you 9 out of 10 times you can, I don't know if you can see the definition where the gills kind of are on that. That forward is where that lake trout's going to hit almost every single time. So that's why you see a lot of guys with short shanks.
The short shank hook.
Yep, or even put the hook in backwards.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I run a lot of double-sided jigs now fishing for lake trout where I have the hook come out of the front, and then it comes out of the front, and then it comes out the middle here. I will say, like early ice, most of them are hooked in the front like this, which makes for a very fun time trying to get that out of the fish's mouth. Oh man, it's like the worst thing. I have clients who'll be like, "Oh, let me help," and I'm like, "No, just you don't want to be there." So David, man, it sounds like your wife's a little abusive, David. It says his wife calls him short shank. So
he does.
He's special. He's the special short shank. There you go. Say that like 10 times fast.
See, I'm gonna get David his shirt like a jersey, and I'm gonna put short shank on the back
There
of
you
it
go.
and send it to him. So you mentioned about sight fishing in Wyoming up there. Can you cut those big holes?
Yeah.
Can you do the big holes up there?
Oh yeah.
And do the big sight fishing? Because that's something that I'd like to do it, to check it out.
Yeah, I got a couple secret spots on the gorge that was, I was lucky enough to experience fishing 10 feet of water. I've caught my biggest fish through the ice in 10 feet of water at the gorge. There's a couple spots that it is insane. You don't just see one or two big fish. You see a lot of big fish, a lot. Like I'd say between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning, you probably see about 30 or 40 fish over 20 pounds.
That's just crazy.
It's insane. And
it's like is it like a big giant fish tank?
Basically? Yeah, we literally call the spot the aquarium.
Wow.
So I've taken a few people out, very people I know aren't gonna, go back or talk about it because it was a spot that was showed to me, and then I found another spot that's kind of like it. Yeah, and fishing Hattie, the tournament, I think it was like a 7 or 8 pound rainbow I caught, and I drilled a hole. So I drilled all these holes, and then it was dark, and then I was setting jaw jackers out. So this was the first one. It was a jigging jaw jacker, and I like using a lot of those little crawdad jigs that guys use for bass fishing. Mm-hmm. Awesome for trout because most of the lakes, Colorado, Wyoming, there's a big crawdad population, and those trout cruise the shallows. Well, this was shallow even for me. I think it was like 1.5 feet of water, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set it up. I'll set these other ones up, and I'll move it out. Yeah. I got it set up, and like I'm setting up the other jaw jacker, and I hear like and I look back, this thing's like tipped over on its side. The rod's like bent like this. The drag is screaming. And I'm like, holy shit. I go over there, I run over there. I'm fighting this fish, and not 2 minutes into the tournament, I had what ended up being the second place fish. I was in first place
Wow.
all the way through the first day and in the last 10 minutes of the second day.
Wow.
So, but yeah,
Fortunate.
yep. And that
That was at Hattie?
yeah, that was at Hattie. Yep. And so when I went up tiger trout fishing, those of you guys who are friends with me on Facebook, I went up and slayed some tigers last weekend with Chris, and that was a hike that I'll probably be doing again tomorrow.
Is that hike worth it?
Oh yeah, it's worth it. I
Yeah.
mean, now driving home and not being able to walk for like a day, it didn't seem worth it. But for those of you who've seen the fish, they're great fish. But they're not as big as they used to be up there. Our biggest one that we caught, I think, was just shy of 23 inches.
Oh wow,
Which
that's
is
big. I mean, for our, I mean, that's
it's big, but
it's big, but
this is how spoiled we are out here. Is that used to be an average fish 2 years ago at that lake? And I think that lake is going back to what we started talking to in the beginning of the show. The lake is kind of cycled through, but it'd be nothing to go. I mean, my biggest one I caught up there, I think, was just shy of 27 inches.
Wow.
For tiger trout. And we and those of you guys who fish jawjackers know, if you've ever experienced like a big fish that's over 2 foot and over 6 pounds, when they hit, your jawjacker is kind of like this. Most of the time your jawjacker will go up, the rod goes up and then kind of bends like that and goes. I was walking over to the jawjacker to check it. This thing goes like this. That's as far as it went. And then it went straight down the hole, and then nothing. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Come on!" I've seen a fish there. The last couple of years, it's between that 7 and 10 pound range, and I've never got them. I've had them come chase the bait up a few times, and there's a spot on the lake that I've always wanted to fish. It's this big rocky point. The water is usually too cold, and I don't feel like hiking my waders all the way up there. Because in the summer, you'd die of a heat stroke.
I bet.
But when we went up there, I was like, "This is where we're going." So we hiked up there. It's this big point. I love early ice fishing for trout. Points are phenomenal, and this is like the perfect trout point, right? So you have a nice rocky point that goes off into this like little bit of mud, and then there's a weed edge right at the edge of the rocks, and then it drops off into deep water. So you go from 4 feet of water to 24 feet of water in probably about 15-20 feet.
Wow.
So it drops off pretty quick. But I set it up, and for those of you guys that are still watching, you guys are going to get some bonus information here. But I love fishing trout in that 4 to 8 foot is my favorite. And then as the day moves on, I like that 10 to 15 foot seems to be killer. But that's where we set up, and that's where I had using the trout attack. I mean, that jawjacker went off probably like 8 times, and I think what we noticed is I ended up catching this lake I fished for like 4 years. This is the first year I've ever been able to ice it too. So I think that tiger trout I caught one that was 21 inches. That was my first tiger trout ever through the ice. I've caught plenty of tiger trout, just never through the ice. And so I drilled a hole, and it was 20 foot. And I'm like, no, it's too deep. So I went in, and it was 11 foot. And I'm like, oh, this is good. So I'm sitting there. Every time I set up my jawjackers, I always drop my line down to about where I want it to be, and I'll just sit and watch it on the flasher while I'm setting the jawjacker up. I drop this thing down. It's not even down there 3-4 seconds, and I see this little mark. I was like, oh, comes right up there, give it a little wiggle, boom, got him. and so I caught that fish, dropped the jaw jacker back down there, got it set up, went over to the next spot, did this. I caught probably 3 fish in a row doing that, just setting the jaw jackers up. And that's one thing I've noticed even when fishing slow, if you go drill a new hole and drop a line down, if you're trout fishing and there's trout around there, you're almost immediately going to get a fish right off the bat.
That they're not, because that's funny about those trout. They don't spook too crazy. They might like scatter, but they don't spook like they're gone. Like they don't leave that area. They're kind of from when you drill that hole, when you put that hole, especially with the electric ice augers too, that we have out there. It's still gonna you're still gonna get that sound of the hole being drilled, but it's not gonna spook them to where they vacate that area and you got to wait 15, 20 minutes to get it repopulated again. They hang around.
Yeah, and what I found is trout for the most part are curious.
Mm-hmm.
If you drill, and this comes from years and years of fishing and seeing the same thing. You drill a hole. I mean, if fishing's slow, you go walk somewhere, especially off a point, drill a hole, drop your bait down there, and within 5 minutes, I typically have a fish come in or catch one doing that. And it might be one and done, but there's something about that noise that does attract them to see what is going on.
Yeah. Yep.
So
crazy how that works. And I'm right there with you, especially the beginning, that first ice period.
Yep.
I'm staying shallow. Even, I mean, for everything, every species of fish, from the trout we're talking about, lake trout for that matter, and shallow's relative to what species and stuff you're fishing for, like walleye, that 8 to 12 a range at the deepest, in the 20s and in the teens and stuff like that. We do have situations here in Colorado where we can go catch those deep water walleye. I mean, out there in Wyoming, I don't know how deep you guys get to them out there, but out here we do have those situations where we can get them deep. But for the most part, we're like in 25 to in between that 12, 25 foot range, depending on what time of day it is. So that depth range is really key there. And don't be afraid to fish shallow. That's what I always tell everybody. Don't be afraid to fish shallow. And in the same places you're catching fish from shore, probably in the same places you can go and target those same kind of fish too.
Well, especially early season like this, right? Too, because you got a lot of fish that are still spawning or getting over to spawn, and a lot of those fish do that right by shore. So you don't need to go way far out. As the season goes on, like for me, I always had a spot that was about 3/4 of a mile out in the middle of Antero. That was amazing. And that's just to get away. That's just to get away from people. And now going back to what we were talking about earlier, I had one of my friends went out there last year, and I was like, yeah, this is where you want to go out there. And they're like, shit, there were still people all the way out there. I mean, I remember going out there. I forget this guy's name. He's deaf. Everybody knows him out at Antero.
He's deaf?
He's deaf, yeah. I know somebody watching knows.
Somebody will probably pop up with it, but I don't remember.
Because he used to fish the tournaments all the time, and I used to go out there, and he was the only one that was ever out there with me.
Yeah. Heck.
So
that used to be the thing. You just in general, like you just walk away from the people. You get out there, you get away from the people, and you're gonna get into the fish, because that's because a lot of times all those holes being drilled, there's something to it. But I do agree with tracking them that way, but there is something to that. They kind of push them out into a little area out there. But yeah, nowadays it's because there's people that are getting involved they don't mind walking. Because before it was like, I don't want to walk. I don't want to tow my stuff all the way there. Now you're getting people that are getting involved. They're like,
that's why I used to lose like 50 pounds in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to lose so much weight in the winter because, I remember like when Jeremy and I first started hanging out, we would walk way the hell out there, and we'd be whipped by the time you get out there, but it was worth it. And I mean, David, that's almost by
There's a lot of
Nate's,
those spots out there. There's a
yeah,
lot of
there's a
spots
lot
like
of
that
those
out there.
spots that are out there. His is more, I think, by the island that's out there, which was not too far away, um,
And that
but
spot,
yeah,
that side is the only accessible. I mean, I don't even think you can access that side because if there's I think there might, isn't there a property maybe, I don't even think you can get to that side from that side. So you have to
not
walk over
anymore.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
And
it's
it's about the same distance from the north ramp or the south ramp to walk
right.
out there.
And like I was saying, you got, like you were going to say, you lose all that weight, but now you got people that you got these CrossFitter dudes
Yeah.
that are out there ice fishing now because they saw something, they heard a podcast or they saw
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
on
It's
whatever.
awesome.
So
Well, yeah, look at these
they're out,
fat guys over here. We're gonna beat them to their spot.
dude. It's legit. It's legit. I see these guys out there. They're like they're people that are good in the elements. You know,
Yep.
they're layered up. You know, they're out there walking in just t-shirts. You know, because they know they don't want to sweat. They
Yep.
get out there, but you get out there and they don't know dick about fishing. They have
Nope.
no clue. They got a hand auger out there. They aug maybe 1 or 2 holes and they're blown out from that. They like, yeah, you could do all these CrossFit crap, but you do that a couple times and it's a different type of deal.
That's how I felt hunting this year, dude. I felt like I felt
Yep.
so out of my element hunting this year, especially, I did mule deer, I did general, so I did general mule deer, and there it is, Jeremiah Avery. Hey, Jeremiah, so you won the $25 giveaway too. I don't know if you were watching before, but I see you
Oh yeah, there you
commented.
go.
So
Boom.
shoot us a message so we can get your information, get that over to you. But he said, yeah, the most exercise he gets all year is ice fishing, and that
Yeah, it's
I mean,
true. It's true. It
and
is
that
true.
I love, there's something to be said about hauling your ice gear out by hand. Out here at the gorge, it snows, but a lot of it doesn't stay on there, and so a lot of times I'll carry my big 200-pound Frable hut out there, and it's a nice. I like the walk, going out there. You get you get the blood flowing a little bit in the morning, and in that way, when you're drilling holes and setting the hut up, you're not keeps your body nice and warm.
Yeah, it does, and that's the thing too. The only time I've ever been cold is when I wasn't doing anything.
Yep.
And that sounds crazy because yeah, while you're sitting there fishing, well, no, you're jigging, you're moving around, you're jigging. But the only times I got cold is when I'm standing there. But if you're walking, you're auging holes,
Yep.
you're drilling holes, you're setting stuff up, you're changing baits, you're doing something, you stay warm. That's what I tell a lot of people. Don't you get cold? Don't you get I'm like, no, I don't get cold anymore because I got a lot of stuff that keep me warm. But even in general, if you do keep doing stuff on the ice, you're gonna stay warm. So
Yeah, I mean,
it,
even if it's below zero out there, I typically fish in just my bibs and a hoodie and
mhm.
a hat like I'm wearing
Yep.
right now, and that's just what I'm used to out there now. If I'm riding out on a four-wheeler or something like that, well, I have
Yeah.
learned, I don't like wearing a helmet, but I have learned to wear one because I will tell you, when it gets 20 below, you will get a brain freeze while driving out there wearing a ball cap like this. So
That's what that first because I've only been on, and you remember that one time at Granby, we went out there and I think that was like the second or third time that I've ever been on snowmobiles ice fishing. I've always walked and I've just never had until I got buddies that got him stuff like that. Sunglasses were freaking just toast. They were fogged up, couldn't see nothing. So those didn't work. So I had to take those off. Then, of course, you're going fast, so your face is going to freeze. I didn't know about that. So I was totally unprepared that day, and I was miserable driving that damn snowmobile.
yeah,
Next time I came,
you won't see my beard this short once real ice fishing kicks off.
right. That's see, I'm kind of growing it back, kind of, sort of, maybe not really. I don't know. We'll see what happens if with this beer. I'm a basketball coach too this season, so I have to look. I kind of got to look kind of respectable, out there on the court. I can't be Grizzly Adams. Totally agree. I might
That's a
scare.
thing now, though. You could do that.
I could, but we got we got the masks in there.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
hard to wear a mask with the beard.
Yep.
So that might screw my
Unless the
beard
beard
plans.
is the mask.
I
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
See?
Like Cousin It. You just kind
Yeah.
of, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
I did
that's
I
the
did
stuff.
order I did order some Santa beard masks. So I'm looking
I gotta
forward
look at
to
those. Maybe I could get some too.
dude, you can get a 3-pack on Amazon for like $14.
Oh, I'm gonna order one right now then.
So last year I did that. I have this Christmas cat onesie. And so I last year I got my Santa hat, my Santa mask beard, and my cat onesie. And so I have an Arctic Cat Alpha One snowmobile. So I went up on the mountain wearing that thing snowmobile, and it was I got some
Oh,
pretty good looks. I got some pretty good pictures too. It was pretty funny.
oh, jeez, jeez. Oh boy.
If you go on I think it's on the Recon Fisher Instagram. So those of you guys who are on Instagram, if you go look at Recon Fisher, you'll see the cat spread there.
That's
But
hilarious.
but yeah, that everybody got a kick out of the Santa mask wearing it, just walking around. And I remember like one kid, I walked into this store, I think I was wearing this shirt with that mask, and he like looks at his mom and is like, "That's Santa." And
That's
I'm
Santa.
like, I got to get out of here. I don't want.
Santa.
I gotta run. I gotta run.
And then you got another kid that comes up to you and he goes, "You smell of cheese and lies."
Yeah, cheese and rotten fish. Well, that's what we eat at the North Pole. We steal the
We we
Yeah,
still
so it's like a Christmas onesie, David, with a bunch of like cats wearing Santa hats. Now, I didn't buy this for me; it was given to me. So,
he's lying. He
um,
got it.
no, I didn't buy it. But
He's got a raccoon one coming this year.
ooh, there you go. But yeah, it's a onesie with it's like red and white, and it's got a bunch of these little cats. If you go to my Instagram at Recon Fisher, I'm pretty sure it's on there. It's a good it was a good conversation piece for sure. But dude, we've been on here for an hour and a half.
I know.
That
My
is
dog's over
I
here.
think this is the longest live show I think we've done. Um for those of you guys still watching, obviously thanks for kicking it with us. It's been more like a BS session, which is what my live shows have usually been. So it's good.
Those are the best ones. Those are fun
It
ones.
it is. Next week I got Eric Brandwright on, and so he's out there in South Dakota. Big walleye guy, pike, panfish stuff out there. I think he's a guide out there as well. So and he's part of the Johnson Outdoors, so Minn Kota hummingbird team. So he's going to be live with us next Wednesday, talking early ice for walleye, panfish, stuff like that. And then some pretty cool news too is I'll be on next Sunday, which is I think the 8th or the 9th of December.
I think that's
Let's see.
coming Sunday.
No, the 12th.
12th. Yeah.
So the 12th is Sunday. I'll be live with Steve Penez.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, they're doing a live show brought to you guys by Garmin. So we'll be talking about ice fishing in the West. So
Nice.
A lot of you guys will appreciate that. I think we get overlooked out here quite a bit for ice fishing. Cascade gets a lot of attention. And Fort Peck a little bit. But other than that, people think we're just out here catching trout, which we do, but there's so much more. So we'll be live talking about that. And then back on January 2nd, I'll be back live with them talking lake trout using live scope. So
nice. Dude, you're busy, man.
Yeah, it's getting busy. I love this time of year. I'm gonna try to get out and do some shows this year too. So you guys might see me at some of the ICs. I might come hang out down there for a little bit. Can't say the company name, but you can kind of see it behind me. Trying to convince them to do ISC in Denver and Salt Lake. So hopefully they'll be there. If not this year, for sure next year. Josh Redmond. Now that is a name I haven't seen in a long time.
he he comes by my house in the morning when I go start my truck. My truck is old. Well, it's kind of old. I actually got it.
Got
Josh,
that gray Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's actually getting a new radiator in it right now, Josh.
Radiator.
Radiator.
The A-Tor.
Radiator. Yeah, so I'm getting that done right now, actually. But yeah, I always I feel like I'll go wait out there for him because I feel like he's gonna drive by like Santa Claus or something, and then we always miss each other because he works up here. He'll swing by, and if I'm in the garage, I got the boat out or something, I'll swing by, come chat with me. And he sees the puddles in my driveway for my truck.
Yeah, he says it scares more fish than your Ion does.
He's probably right.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll probably be out east too, doing some shows for Dynamic out in on the East Coast, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
We did the Great American Outdoor Expo 2 years ago in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was insane. So all I'll say is, ISC, we always thought ISC was big, right?
Yeah,
That's at that show, that's the fishing section.
Wow.
The whole ISC, that's the fishing section at that show. I think it's like a mile long.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, when I went to the St. Paul show, I was like flabbergasted because that was to that point.
That's one show that's on my list to go.
It's a great show.
It's this upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
Every year, something always comes up. Like this year, I was gonna go, and then my boat was like, "No, you're not going anywhere."
Yeah, I'll be at Shills, both of the Shills stores here in the one in Springs on Saturday and the one in Johnstown on Sunday
for Ice Fest, right?
For Ice Fest,
nice.
I'll be there.
Talk a little bit about that real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got some giveaways going on. Eskimo is giving away at both stores a 450 XD hub shelter. So that's the brand new ones. It's been out a couple of seasons now, but it's the one without the door. And it sounds crazy. And I always talk to people they're like, "There's no door." Man, it makes a bunch of difference when there's nothing to step over. You don't even think about it. It's just so crazy. And
how do you get in and out if there's no door?
No, I mean door. I meant like the door. There's no floor. There's no step on the door. It's a straight.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Door.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. How do you get out? And there's no door.
I was like, wait, hold on.
You just got to swim underneath.
Is there some new technology that allows you just to walk through the side? That's probably coming.
It's brand new, groundbreaking. It's groundbreaking.
That's the EXO, right? The Eskimo Esco.
Eskimo under the ISO, no Doro, just Magico. So
David
it's the Harry Potter edition.
There you go. The Wizard
edition.
Yeah. That's the Eskimo Potter edition. How about that?
Yeah. So you will be giving away the Eskimo Potter edition of the Eskimo hub shelters. We'll be giving those away, and then also plenty of other giveaways too there. I'll be there helping you out as much as I can with whatever you need ice fishing. Come talk ice fishing with me. It'll be a good time. Like I said, plenty of giveaways. There's going to be a lot of talk. There's lake trout talk. I can't remember exactly who's going to be at each location.
I think Dan Shannon.
Yes, Dan Shannon will be talking at both locations, talking lake trout. Yep. You're right.
So what day will you be down in the Springs? Sunday?
Whatever day the Springs is having it. I think that's Saturday. The 4th is Springs. So one's having it one day and one having the other day, that they're special days. So the Springs is the 4th and the Johnstown's the 5th. And that's Saturday and Sunday. So go check that out. If you're around town, come find me in the ice fishing section. Also, Dennis was on here earlier too. I saw him on there. He's the man, the myth, the legend over there in the fishing. Well, they don't call it department. They call it. Do you know what they call them? The sections over there. They don't call them departments. It's like the workshop or the fishing shop. I think the shop.
Fish shop. I think.
Yeah.
So
he's the man over there.
So Sunday at 10 a.m. is the Johnstown one.
Yep.
From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's the ice fishing shop is what they call it.
Ice fishing shop, yeah. And the
So
Springs is
I'm on
on
there.
Saturday.
I'm on my Surface over here on the other one looking at. I don't see. I'm trying to see if they have more information on here.
I know the Johnstown one.
10 a.m. 10 a.m. is the seminar schedule for Sunday. Is they have the ice fishing and safety. So Brad Peterson will be doing
Brad,
that.
that's the other guy up there. Yeah, Brad.
And then at noon, lake trout fishing and electronics with Dan Shannon.
Yep.
And then 2:00 is targeting species in their winter habitat, and that's by Andy Cochran from Gunnison Sports.
Oh, nice. Andy will be up there. Good to see. And that's what I like going to these especially these store events. I get to catch up with everybody. I get to see and talk and meet new people.
It's such a great time.
Yeah, it'll be good stuff. So that's where I'm going to be. You'll be messing with your boat. You'll be chasing tiger trout, huh?
Yeah, I may go tomorrow. I may not. The live show kind of ran a little bit long, and this is where I'm like, I don't need to have a like a K drill or anything like that. But this is like the one time where a K drill is nice. Yeah. Then I don't have to carry my 10-inch Strike Master in my hunting pack all the way up. But
take a spud bar, spud it up.
I did it. The ice is like 6 inches. So
hard chucks. Don't be scared, Shane. Just hard slams.
Just slam it.
Oh man.
So let's see.
My dog is blowing me up in here. He needs to go out.
Uh-oh.
I need to kick him out.
So yeah, so it looks like real quick, and then we'll get out of here. So Saturday, it's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Colorado Springs Shields. So it looks like they don't have the times on here, but they have walking on water, critical ice safety tips with Anna. I think it's Brady.
She's the DSG. She's the man at Fish Canada woman.
Okay.
She's good. She's really good.
And then icing big Lakers with Dan Shannon. And then Colorado ice fishing tips and tricks with AJ. Yeah. So I think that's AJ Outfished Angling.
The Outfish Fish Anglers.
I think it's AJ, yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll be talking Colorado ice fishing trips.
Like I said, fun times up there. And then you go buy a bunch of crap that you don't need, right?
Yeah. I just ordered a bunch of stuff. I got a killer deal that ran for a week through Pier Fishing that I just spent more money than I probably should have.
Man, I ordered a bunch of stuff from Frostbite and some other stuff too. So I'm in trouble too. I made some football bets a couple weeks ago. I made a lot of money, and now that money's gone. It's gone. There you go.
Hey, speaking of which, and this is kind of off topic, but have you watched Pat McAfee?
Oh, I love
watched his show. Oh, yeah, I was watching that. I watched that today, but they have the Hammer Down boys talking about they do their sports betting stuff.
Yeah, I watch Fridays when they talk Fridays. Yeah.
It's so crazy how much that is actually a part of sports broadcasting now.
It's huge.
3 or 4 years ago, people wouldn't even touch that.
Right. And there's a station dedicated to it on an AM station that I listen to daily. Like I can't stand radio for the most part.
Yep.
And I listen to this. It tells me about betting and everything. It's crazy. I don't go too crazy. I'll make like $10, $20 bets, but I go for the big, the ones that have the best odds to make some money quick. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, go take care of your dog. Thanks for coming.
Oh man, he's blowing me up, dude. He's
Is it a lab?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, you're dead.
No,
those lab farts are the worst.
He got up and went over there and kind of did a tough at the door, and then I heard him kind of whimper, and then he's back over here, but I could smell him, and he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna blow you out then."
All right. Well, it was great catching up with you on there. Hit me up. We'll get out in the ice this year. Hopefully, maybe we could do some live stuff while we're out on the ice. It's so hard with service, but I have noticed service has been getting better. So Might
I'm
see
in,
us.
man. This year I'm gonna make it happen. I
All
know
right.
I've been talking a lot this past couple years, but I'm gonna make it happen this year for sure.
Perfect.
All right, Shane.
All right.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Take care. And everybody out there watching, thanks for watching. It was a great show. We had a great time tonight. Talking about a little bit of everything. It was a lot of good. Yeah, blaming the dog, huh? You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. But it was a great show. I'm very grateful for everybody who watches, for all your support out there. And like I said, next week we're going to have Eric Brandreit on. We're going to be talking some hummingbird electronic stuff, along with early season walleye, panfish, perch, stuff like that. And then the week after that, we're gonna be doing our show dedicated to lake trout fishing. So that's kind of the next couple weeks lined up for you guys. But until next time, take care and tight lines.